Can you check if it is coming? We'll start with the Omkara, three Omkaras. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Gananam tva Ganapatigum Havamahe Kavim Kavinamupamashravastamam Jyeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspatana Shunvannotibhisidhasadanam Mahaganapataye Namaha. Prano Devi Saraswati Vajevirvadinivati Dhinama Vitriyavato Vagdevyai Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sah Viryankaravamahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sahasrashirushan Devam Vishwakam Vishwashambhavam Vishwan Narayanam Devamaksharam Paramam Padam Vishwatah Paraman Nityam Vishwan Narayanagam Harim Vishwadevedam Purushattat Vishwamupajivati Patim Vishwatyatmeshwaragam Shashvatagam Shivamachyutam Narayanam Mahagneyam Vishwatmanam Parayanam Narayana Paro Jyotiratma Narayana Paraha Narayana Param Brahma Tattvam Narayana Paraha Narayana Paro Dhyatha Dhyanan Narayana Paraha Yaccha Kinchit Jagat Sarvam Drishyate Shruyate Piva Antarbahishyatat Sarvam Vyapya Narayana Sthitaha Anantamavyayam Kavigam Samudhentam Vishvashambhavam Padmakocha Pratigashagam Hridayam Chapyadomukam Ado Nityavitasthyante Nabhyamu Paritishthati Jvalamala Kulam Dhati Vishwasyayatanam Mahat सन्ततगं शिलाभिस्तलं भक्त्याकोशसन्निभम् तस्यान्ते सुशिरगं सूक्ष्मं तस्मिन् सर्वं प्रतिष्ठितम् तस्य मध्ये महानग्निर्विश्वाचिर्विश्वतो मुखः सोऽग्रभुग्विभजन्तिस्तन्नाहारमजरः कविः तिर्यगोर्ध्वमदशायी रश्मयः सत्यसन्तता सन्तापयति त्वं देहमापादतलमस्तकः तस्य मध्ये वह्निशिखा अणीयोर्ध्वा व्यवस्थितः नीलतो यदमध्यस्था विद्युल्लेखे भवात्मरा नीवारशूकवत्तन्वी पीताभास्वत्यणोपमा तस्या शिखाया मध्ये परमात्मा व्यवस्थितः स ब्रह्म स शिवः स हरिस्तेन्द्रस्तोऽक्षरः परमस्वराट् ऋतगं सत्यं परब्रह्म पुरुषं कृष्णपिङ्गलम् ऊर्ध्वरेतं विरूपाख्यं विश्वरूपाय वै नमो नमः ॐ नारायणाय विद्महे वासुदेवाय धीमहि तन्नो विष्णुः प्रचोदयात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ तत्सत् श्रीरामकृष्णार्पणमस्तु गणपति स्तोत्रम लाइक अजम निर्विकल्पम अजं निर्विकल्पं निराकारमेकम् अजं निर्विकल्पं निराकारमेकम् निरानन्दमानन्दमद्वैतपूर्णम् निरानन्दमानन्दमद्वैतपूर्णम् परं निर्गुणं निर्विशेषं निरीहं परं निर्गुणं निर्विशेषं निरीहं परब्रह्मरूपं गणेशं भजेम परब्रह्मरूपं गणेशं भजेम गुणातीतमानं चिदानन्दरूपं गुणातीतमानं चिदानन्दरूपं चिदाभासकं सर्वगं ज्ञानगम्यं चिदाभासकं सर्वगं ज्ञानगम्यं मुनिर्देयमाकाशरूपं परेशं मुनिर्देयमाकाशरूपं परेशं परब्रह्मरूपं गणेशं भजेम परब्रह्मरूपं गणेशं भजेम जगत्कारणं कारणज्ञानरूपं जगत्कारणं कारणज्ञानरूपं सुरादिं सुखादिं गुणेशं गणेशं सुरादिं सुखादिं गणेशं जगद्व्यापिनं विश्ववन्द्यं सुरेशं जगद्व्यापिनं विश्ववन्द्यं सुरेशं परब्रह्मरूपं गणेशं भजेम परब्रह्मरूपं गणेशं भजेम परब्रह्मरूपं गणेशं भजेम. This is not a lead and follow, just I will sing. Saguti hudu chitta brunga, saguti hudu chitta brunga, kali padani la kamala madhupanada sege. ಸಕಲ ವಿಷಯ ಕುಸುಮರಸವು ಎಷ್ಟಾದರೂ ತುಚ್ಛವೆಂದು ತಿಳಿತಿಂದು ಮನಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ಸಾಗುತ್ತಿಹುದು ಚಿತ್ತ ಭೃಂಗ ಸಾಗುತ್ತಿಹುದು ಚಿತ್ತ ಭೃಂಗ ತಾಯ ಪಾದ ಕಮಲ ನೀಲ ಕುಡಿಯುವ ಭೃಂಗ ನೀಲ ತಾಯ ಪಾದ ಕಮಲ ನೀಲ ಮಧು ಕುಡಿಯುವ ಭೃಂಗ ನೀಲ ನೀಲದಲ್ಲಿ ನೀಲ ಸೇರಿ ನೀಲವಾದ ಪರಿಯನು ಕಂಡು ಬೆರಗುವಡುವನು ಸಾಗುತ್ತಿಹುದು ಚಿತ್ತ ಭೃಂಗ ಸಾಗುತ್ತಿಹುದು ಚಿತ್ತ ಭೃಂಗ ಸುಖ ಬಂದರೆ ಹಿಗ್ಗದೆ ನೋವಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಗದೆ ಸುಖ ಬಂದರೆ ಹಿಗ್ಗದೆ ನೋವಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಗದೆ ಆನಂದ ಸಿಂಧುವಿನಲ್ಲಿ ನಿರುತ ತೇಲುತ್ತಿರುವನು ಭಕ್ತ ಕಮಲಕಾಂತನು ಸಾಗುತ್ತಿಹುದು ಚಿತ್ತ ಭೃಂಗ ಸಾಗುತ್ತಿಹುದು ಚಿತ್ತ ಭೃಂಗ ಕಾಳಿ ಪದ ನೀಲ ಕಮಲ ಮಧುಪಾನದ ತೆಗೆ ಸಕಲ ವಿಷಯ ಕುಸುಮರಸವು ಎಷ್ಟಾದರೂ ತುಚ್ಛವೆಂದು ತಿಳಿಯಿತಿಂದು ಮನಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ಸಾಗುತ್ತಿಹುದು ಚಿತ್ತ ಭೃಂಗ ಸಾಗುತ್ತಿಹುದು ಚಿತ್ತ ಭೃಂಗ. Read and follow. हे प्रेम रूप श्री राम कृष्ण प्रेम रूप श्री राम कृष्ण हे प्रेम रूप श्री राम कृष्ण हे प्रेम रूप श्री राम कृष्ण करुणामय पालय मां करुणामय पालय मां करुणामय पालय मां करुणामय पालय मां हे दीनबन्धु श्री शारदेश, हे दीनबन्धु श्री शारदेश, मम प्राणप्रिय पाहि माम्, मम प्राणप्रिय पाहि माम्, मम प्राणप्रिय पाहि माम्, मम प्राणप्रिय पाहि माम्। हे प्रेम रूप श्री राम कृष्ण, हे प्रेम रूप श्री राम कृष्ण, करुणामय पालय माम्, करुणामय पालय माम्। हे प्रेम रूप श्री राम कृष्ण, हे प्रेम रूप श्री राम कृष्ण, करुणामय पालय माम्, करुणामय पालय माम्। हे दीनबन्धु श्री शारदेश, हे दीनबन्धु श्री शारदेश, मम प्राणप्रिय पाहि माम्, 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 मम प्राणप्रिय पाहि माम्। Lead and follow. सुज्ञानदायिके सुविमल चरिते, सुज्ञानदायिके सुविमल चरिते, सुज्ञानदायिके सुविमल चरिते, सुज्ञानदायिके सुविमल चरिते, शारदामणि प्रीतिदाते, शारदामणि प्रीतिदाते, शारदामणि प्रीतिदाते, शारदामणि प्रीतिदाते, सुज्ञानदायिके सुविमल चरिते, सुज्ञानदायिके सुविमल चरिते, सुज्ञानदायिके सुविमल चरिते, सुज्ञानदायिके सुविमल चरिते, मा शारदामणि प्रीतिदाते, मा शारदामणि प्रीतिदाते, मा शारदामणि प्रीतिदाते, मा शारदामणि प्रीतिदाते, सुज्ञानदायिके सुविमल चरिते, सुज्ञानदायिके सुविमल चरिते, सुज्ञानदायिके सुविमल चरिते, सुज्ञानदायिके सुविमल चरिते, मा शारदामणि प्रीतिदाते, शारदामणि प्रीतिदाते, मा शारदामणि प्रीतिदाते, मा शारदामणि प्रीतिदाते, सुज्ञानदायिके सुविमल चरिते, सुज्ञानदायिके
Actually, I'm going to pick another my other son also. So it's okay. You can drop it. Are you good? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Drop just like okay.
ಶಾಂತಿದಾತೆ ಆಶಾರದ ಮಣಿ ಶಕ್ತಿದಾತೆ ಆಶಾರದ ಮಣಿ ಶಕ್ತಿದಾತೆ ಆಶಾರದ ಮಣಿ ಭಕ್ತಿದಾತೆ ಆಶಾರದ ಮಣಿ ಭಕ್ತಿದಾತೆ ಆಶಾರದ ಮಣಿ ಭಕ್ತಿದಾತೆ ಆಶಾರದ ಮಣಿ ಮುಕ್ತಿದಾತೆ ಆಶಾರದ ಮಣಿ ವಾತ್ಸಲ್ಯದಾತೆ ಆಶಾರದ ಮಣಿ ವಾತ್ಸಲ್ಯದಾತೆ ಆಶಾರದ ಮಣಿ ವಾತ್ಸಲ್ಯದಾತೆ ಶಾರದಾ ಮಣಿ ವಾತ್ಸಲ್ಯದಾತೆ 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 ಯದಾತೆ ವಾತ್ಸಲ್ಯದಾತೆ
No lead and follow for this song.
ತಲ್ಲಣಿಸದಿರು ಕಂಡ್ಯ ತಾಳು ಮನವೇ ಎಲ್ಲರನು ಸಲಹುವನು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಶಯವಿಲ್ಲ ತಲ್ಲಣಿಸದಿರು ಕಂಡ್ಯ ತಾಳು ಮನವೇ ಬೆಟ್ಟದ ತುದಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹುಟ್ಟಿರುವ ವೃಕ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ ಬೆಟ್ಟದ ತುದಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹುಟ್ಟಿರುವ ವೃಕ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ ಕಟ್ಟೆಯನ್ನು ಕಟ್ಟಿನಿ ರೆರೆದವರು ಯಾರೋ ಬೆಟ್ಟದ ತುದಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹುಟ್ಟಿರುವ ವೃಕ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ ಕಟ್ಟೆಯನ್ನು ಕಟ್ಟಿನಿ ರೆರೆದವರು ಯಾರೋ ಹುಟ್ಟಿಸಿದ ಸ್ವಾಮಿತ ಹೊಣೆಗಾರನಾಗಿರಲು ಹುಟ್ಟಿಸಿದ ಸ್ವಾಮಿತ ಹೊಣೆಗಾರನಾಗಿರಲು ಗಟ್ಟಿಯಾಗಿ ಸಲಹುವನು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಶಯ ಬೇಡ ತಲ್ಲಣಿಸದಿರು ಕಂಡ್ಯ ತಾಳು ಮನವೇ ಎಲ್ಲರನು ಸಲಹುವನು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಶಯವಿಲ್ಲ ತಲ್ಲಣಿಸದಿರು ಕಂಡ್ಯ ತಾಳು ಮನವೇ ಅಡವಿಯೊಳಗಾಡುವ ಮೃಗ ಪಕ್ಷಿಗಳಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಅಡವಿಯೊಳಗಾಡುವ ಮೃಗ ಪಕ್ಷಿಗಳಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಅಡಿಗಡಿಗೆ ಆಹಾರ ವಿತ್ತವರು ಯಾರೋ ಅಡವಿಯೊಳಗಾಡುವ ಮೃಗ ಪಕ್ಷಿಗಳಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಅಡಿಗಡಿಗೆ ಆಹಾರ ವಿತ್ತವರು ಯಾರೋ ಪಡೆದ ಜನನಿಯ ತೆರದಿ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಹೊಣೆಗೀಡಾಗಿ ಪಡೆದ ಜನನಿಯ ತೆರದಿ ಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಹೊಣೆಗೀಡಾಗಿ ಬಿಡದೆ ರಕ್ಷಿಪನಿದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂದೇಹ ಬೇಡ ತಲ್ಲಣಿಸದಿರು ಕಂಡ್ಯ ತಾಳು ಮನವೇ ಎಲ್ಲರನು ಸಲಹುವನು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಶಯವಿಲ್ಲ ತಲ್ಲಣಿಸದಿರು ಕಂಡ್ಯ ತಾಳು ಮನವೇ ಕಲ್ಲೊಳಗೆ ಹುಟ್ಟಿರುವ ಕ್ರಿಮಿಕೀಟಗಳಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಕಲ್ಲೊಳಗೆ ಹುಟ್ಟಿರುವ ಕ್ರಿಮಿಕೀಟಗಳಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಲ್ಲಿ ಆಹಾರ ವಿತ್ತವರು ಯಾರೋ ಕಲ್ಲೊಳಗೆ ಹುಟ್ಟಿರುವ ಕ್ರಿಮಿಕೀಟಗಳಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಲ್ಲಿ ಆಹಾರ ವಿತ್ತವರು ಯಾರೋ ಉಲ್ಲಲೋಚನಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ನೆಲೆಯಾದಿ ಕೇಶವನು ಉಲ್ಲಲೋಚನಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ನೆಲೆಯಾದಿ ಕೇಶವನು ಎಲ್ಲರನ್ನು ಸಲಹುವನು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಶಯ ಬೇಡ ತಲ್ಲಣಿಸದಿರು ಕಂಡ್ಯ ತಾಳು ಮನವೇ ಎಲ್ಲರನ್ನು ಸಲಹುವನು ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಶಯವಿಲ್ಲ ತಲ್ಲಣಿಸದಿರು ಕಂಡ್ಯ ತಾಳು ಮನವೇ. So we will sing our song now. तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनम् कविभिरीडितम् कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलम् श्रीमदाततं कृष्णा भुवि गृह्णन्तये भूरिदा जना तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनम् कविभिरीडितम् कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलम् श्रीमदाततं कृष्णा भुवि गृह्णन्तये भूरिदा जना.
Taking refuge in the holy feet of Sri Sarada Devi, Universal Mother, and Sri Ramakrishna, the teacher of the world, my humble salutation to them forever and ever. Kalyananam Abhikalanidhi, Kapi Karunya Sima, Nitya Modha Nigama Vachasa Mauli Mandhara Mala, Sampad Divya Madhu Vijayenaha Sannidattam Sadame, Saisha Devi Shakala Bhuvana Prarthana Kamadev. May Divine Mother, the infinite source of all auspicious things, the ultimate abode of compassion, one who is glorified in the Vedas and the Vedanta, the divine consort of Sri Ramakrishna, and the unique benefactor for all the worlds, always manifest before me. My humble salutations to you all. The story, once a king developed a dispassion for the world. So he decided to attain Brahma Jnana, that is knowledge of Brahma. So being a king, he wanted to know how to attain this. He heard from his minister that King Parikshit is another time we will discuss about that. as of now, King Parikshit, had attained Brahma Jnana after hearing Srimad Bhagavatam from the sage called Sukadeva, and he heard for 7 days, and after that he attained the supreme knowledge of Brahman. Srimad Bhagavatam is a story of Sri Krishna, written by Vyasa. He sent, our king sent a scholar. He sent for a scholar who lived in the city to come and teach him Bhagavatam, so that he can hear the recital of Bhagavatam for 7 days, and then he can attain Brahmajnana. The king thought that way. So he sent for a scholar to come. Now the scholar was reciting and he was hearing Bhagavatam. So after hearing Bhagavatam regularly for 2 months, nothing happened. Nothing happened. So he was reciting. It's a big book, contains 12 chapters. And nothing happened. He didn't feel any change or anything. Then king said to the Pandit, he said, the king Parikshit was hearing this Bhagavatam, and he got the Brahmajnana in 7 days. The reciter was Shukadeva himself. He's a great sage. He said, then why can't I get the same Brahmajnana in 7 days? So if you don't answer this question to me tomorrow, I will expel you from the kingdom. So this scholar was in deep trouble. So he has to give an answer to the king. So he went home, and in fact he was scared and bewildered by the king's decision. Felt threatened. So he was thinking very deeply how to answer this king. And he was working very hard to give a valid answer, convincing answer to the king. He had an intelligent daughter, a young girl, who observed that her father being distressed, bewildered, confused, and always panicking for some reason. So out of the love, she asked, Father, what happened? Why do you look so disturbed? Please let me know what is your problem. How can I help you? A sweet daughter offered her help. But he just thought, why should my daughter know about this challenge which he is facing? But still, since she insisted with the love and care, so he obviously revealed to him that the challenge which is awaiting for him next day in king's court. Then his father, the daughter smilingly said, don't worry, Dad. I will help you to solve this problem. So please take me with you to meet the king when you go next day. The father was a bit worried. How is she going to answer the king? If she's only a small girl, it's not a play game. You can't play with king. He is also serious. So anyway, he put the burden on God and took his sweet daughter next day to the king's court. And he said, "Oh Majesty, my daughter will answer your question. So kindly forbear if she is not giving you a right answer, but it's out of love." Then king said, then she started talking to the king. daughter. She said, if you want an answer, said, Majesty, if you want an answer to this question, the little girl said, you must abide by whatever I say. The king agreed and nodded assent. Then daughter said to the palace guards, bind me to bind her against a pillar, and also bind the king in another pillar. So the palace guards looked at the king. King said, yes, please do. So she was tied in one pillar, and the king was also tied in another pillar. Tied means completely tied. They can't move, but they can breathe and talk. Then immediately the the little girl, the scholar's daughter said, "O king, please release me quickly from this bondage." She's informing the king to come and rescue her. The king said, you are asking impossible. I myself tied in a pole against the pillar. Then how could I help you? So the daughter said, same way, my father himself is bound with the worldly things, and you are also bound. Then how do you expect my father's recitation of Bhagavata can help you to attain the Brahma knowledge or supreme knowledge? In case of Parikshit, he was a seeker of moksha, liberation, and he had the capacity. And Shukadeva is already a realized soul. So he was able to do that. And my father is a poor man. He is just working under you for a salary. And he is already in his own worldly affairs. Definitely, he cannot give you that effect of what Shukadeva gave to Parikshit. So please understand that way. Then king understood his mistakes and immediately released and tried to waive the declaration to his father that he will be expelled from the kingdom. The story here is both Guru and the disciples should be ready. It's just not that I got a Guru, I will attain moksha. Not that liberation. Not that the Guru should be proud or that he got a liberation, he can be disciples, he can be declared himself as Guru. So both should have that eligibility. So in our gospel, Sri Ramakrishna already has. Whether do we have that eligibility, that we need to consistently check. So we cannot say or talk to Sri Ramakrishna, just Ramakrishna says you cry 3 days, you will see the vision of God, goddess. Doesn't mean that I go to the room and shut all my doors and start weeping. Immediately the God may or may not come. You cannot challenge like that to Sri Ramakrishna. There are many factors involved in that. But our endeavors are necessary. As we are doing, by His grace, we will slowly get closer to the divine grace. So with this, I will continue the gospel. In previous class, was a big class last time, and we understood the 3 examples that Sri Ramakrishna gave when he said, God reveals himself to the devotees who feels drawn to him when they have the 3 types of attractions. We discussed that in last class. So the attraction of worldly possession by for the worldly man. and the attraction of a child towards mother, and husband's attraction to his chaste wife. So we need to have all these three combinations together. Not we are choosing one. We have to have all these three and apply in our endeavors to realize God. It's a difficult task, not that easy, but by grace of Sri Ramakrishna, we will progress. And also we discussed how these three examples matches with the various scriptural testimonies. One is through how is through Bhagavad Gita, how it matches. Then that is nothing but Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. That's what he says. These three examples matches those three. Then how we understood, through Upanishads, how we understood these three, and Brahma Sutra, how that first three sutras actually helps us to progress towards the fourth Brahma Sutra. So we saw all these things in detail last class. So let us continue. Today the class will be little reading, because already we have come closer to the pages where Sri Ramakrishna himself gives two big stories. So we will experience that. So let us continue to listen from the Gospel. We are in page 83, somewhere in the middle. The point is to love God, even as a mother loves her child. The chaste wife, her husband, and the worldly man, his wealth. So three, he says. So we have to love God like mother loves her child, then chaste wife, her husband, the worldly man, his wife. We need to love God. We need to substitute that love what we have towards these objects in combination towards our realization, whether it is God or self-realization, whatever we do, we have to come out of this attachment. So add together these three forces of love. Is not asking us to choose. We need to apply these three forces together. And these three power of attractions, that what we saw. So power of attraction and forces of love. So he gives both two sides of the same coin. And give it to all, give it all to God. Then you will certainly see him. So far we saw in terms of Bhagavad Gita, then we saw terms of Upanishads, then we saw in terms of Bhagavad Gita. That mind has to be dedicated to the Lord. So the instruction first, love for relationship. So that is, we have relationships with our father, mother, friends, sons, and daughters. We need to eliminate means we need to expand. Expand. That is mine. We say my father, my mother, my brothers, my sisters, my friends. That my concept, I and mine. First comes mine. Mine concept has to be expanded. See, that is called elimination of mamakara. Elimination of mamakara means you have to expand it. So we have to direct. Everything belongs to God. So Holy Mother says, the whole world is ours. Not just this house, not just only one particular person. Everyone, all are our kids. Wherever we go, we have to act in responsibility that particular place belongs to my own house. So we have to extend that mind concept. So that is equivalent to Asatoma Satgamaya. So we need to expand. That is from the selfishness to unselfishness. Asatoma Satgamaya. Second, he says, body love, like we have love for body satisfaction. That is what is the chaste wife or the chaste wife towards her husband. That is the intimacy. The intimacy always focus on ahankara, my pleasure, my way of intimacy with my desired objects. That needs to be expanded. So that is the second mantra, which talks about converting the ripe eye to unripe eyes. Sri Ramakrishna is going to expound all these things in a more detailed way as we go, as we progress in further pages. So that is Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. So we finished Asatoma Satgamaya, then Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. Then the third is our love for money and power. That is worldly man's interest towards worldly possessions. That needs to be expanded. How do we expand that? Thinking that we are the instrument of God all the time. So that will help us to have the Mrityorma Amritangava. So when we feel ourselves as instrument for our own sense objects, it is like mortal. When we feel that we are the instrument of the Lord all the time, then we also become immortal. So first is Asatoma Satgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, and Mrityorma Amritangava. So love for relationship, love for body satisfaction, and love for the worldly money and power. All these three loves in combination to be offered to the God realization for us, or offered in the God realization. So this is the meaning of that. So three attractions, three forces of attraction and three forces of powers. Both three forces of love. Both has to be focused towards, in combination towards God. Then we continue reading. It is necessary to pray to him with a longing heart. The kitten knows only how to call its mother, mew, mew. It remains satisfied wherever its mother puts it. And the mother cat puts the kitten sometimes in kitchen, sometimes on the floor, and sometimes on the bed. When it suffers, it cries only, meow, meow. And that's all it knows. We have seen that all in our life. But as soon as the mother hears this cry, wherever she may be, she comes to the kitten. Very simple, very, very simple anecdote or allegory. Here Sri Ramakrishna says Sharanagati, self-surrender. So how this kitten example is applicable in our life, or it's applicable in one of the lives in Mahabharata, we will come later. I will tell the story little later. Now, now it was, I continue reading. It was Sunday afternoon when M, that is the recorder of Sri Ram Gospel, came on his third visit to the Master. So M already visited twice. This is the third visit. So when was his first visit? The first visit, I just want to recap, I may forget things. So the first visit is where he just came and he refused to enter Sri Ramakrishna's room, and he meets the maid, Brinde. And that's the first time he sees Sri Ramakrishna. But he was a bit hesitant to enter and talk, because he followed the modern English culture. And so he first saw him and heard little bit, and then he left. And that memory was literally troubling him. Troubling means towards the progress. So he came second time, and that time he boldly entered into the lion's cage or cave. Lion here means Sri Ramakrishna, but not a scary lion, but a loving lion. So he entered. Then Sri Ramakrishna gave him 3 tests. What are the 3? The 3 tests is related to these 3 attractions. What he said, the 3 attractions one should have combined together towards God realization. He was giving that test to see whether M possessed all these things, or whether he is on the right track towards the goal of God realization. First, he asked he wanted to first test him whether he is a worldly man, that is mamakara. Makara means mind, concept of mind. So how far he has understood the mind concept. Mind, we say my. How did he understand that? So to test that, he questions, are you married? He questions that to our immediately he felt a bit humiliated. Instead of he boasting about his relatives and his kins and family, heritage, rather he felt a bit guilty, and very humbly he said, yes, sir, I'm married. And Sri Ramakrishna was able to take away the pride of his possession. So the first test it's passed. He passed in the first test. His mind concept, he is not focused on minds. So he is always looking to expand. That Sri Ramakrishna was able to understand. Second, to test his pride, again he asked, that is ahankara, I concept. How far he has understood this ahankara, ego. Then he asked, what kind of you said you are married, what kind of lady is your wife? Then he immediately said, oh, my lady wife is just an ignorant person. Immediately Sri Ramakrishna asked, so are you a man of knowledge? So you think you know everything and you can declare other people have no knowledge. Only such person can declare, right? So you know everything. So immediately his pride was scattered by Sri Ramakrishna's question. Very simple questions, but it has a deep, profound meaning. It pierced him. He pierced his pride. So then Sri Ramakrishna understood that Yam is eligible to convert his right ego to an unright. Then the third question, how does he understand the relationship with God? The third attraction is attraction of a married man to his chaste wife. So relationship, it talks about relationship. So the third question is, he asks, how do you understand God? What is your relationship? And then he has his own definition. Then Ramakrishna scatters that, saying that the relationship with Brahman is intimate. We have an intimate relationship, and it is non-corporeal. So he passes all the three tests. Then Sri Ramakrishna understood that he is an apt person for his future work. That is the Divine Mother's work. So he passes through all these things. So he's ready to learn and amend his life as per the Guru's instruction. So he's dependent on Guru. At the same time, he should be an instrument. That is very important. That so Ramakrishna will be telling how to understand being an instrument in the coming discourse. So it was Sunday afternoon when M came on his third visit to the master. He had been profoundly impressed by his two visits to this wonderful man. He had been thinking of the master constantly and of utterly simple way he explained the deep truths of the spiritual life. Never before had he met such a man. So true. Very easy way of understanding things Sri Ramakrishna adopted. No complication at all. And very practical. Practical application. That's very important. Sri Ramakrishna was sitting on a small couch. The room was filled with devotees who had taken advantage of the holiday to come to see. So I'm turning, people can turn the page. The page number now is 84. The master, the room was filled with devotees who had taken advantage of the holiday to come to see the master. M had not yet been acquainted with any of them. So there was a big crowd. Ramakrishna was sitting in the middle, and M came, and he was also sitting in the corner. We have to imagine this. And he doesn't know anyone. And he was just sitting in a corner and watching what is happening. He addressed, Ramakrishna smiled as he talked with devotees. He addressed his words particularly to a young man of 19 named Narendranath, that is Swami Vivekananda, who was a college student and frequented the Sadharana Brahma Samaj. His eyes were bright, his words were full of spirit, and he had the look of a lover of God. That is description of Swamiji. M guessed that the conversation was about worldly men who look down on those who aspire to spiritual things. The master was talking about the great number of such people in the world and how to deal with them. Very important challenge we face. When suppose we are religious, our friends don't like that. And this fellow always goes to church. I don't like church. What is the use of going there? And they in fact advise the people, why do you go to church? Why you are reading this, wasting your time? Let's go and go to casino or where some to make money or enjoy the worldly pleasures. So many places are there. You're wasting your money. So we have such challenge. So we all face this challenge. And they, in fact, they do the backbiting also, right? So they talk very naive to us, but later at the back they tease us and pass some worse comments. So in fact, sometimes they slander when they see us naturally inclined towards God and any godly works. So how to deal with this situation? Sri Ramakrishna is trying to give us a practical knowledge. Jesus says in the Sermon on Mount, "Blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say all things, all kinds of evil against you because of me." Even Jesus said that. Forbear. You have to forbear. And Trigunatitananda, the great Swami of our order, direct disciple of Sri Ramakrishna. He was in San Francisco. And in the year 1914, 2 days after Christmas, he was conducting, I think even, I don't know, Kathy Ma should tell me, are they having the same pompous celebration after Christmas? Even? I think so. So they were celebrating the Christmas with wonderful solemnity in the San Francisco temple. And Trigunatitananda ji was holding the Sunday service and giving the Christmas message to all. And when the live bomb was thrown on the pulpit, who did that is former student, and that boy was actually had this. He was not fit, and he had an unbalanced state of mind, and he was in a depressed state. So he threw the live bomb, in the pulpit. And then Swami was giving the sermon, and he received severe injuries. And he was rushed to the hospital. And on his way to the hospital, Swami said, "Where is Louis? Louis is the guy. Poor fellow. Where is he?" In the midst of the excruciating pain, Swami did ask for his regards and ensure that he is not injured. And he felt pity for that boy. Because of this act, Trigunatitananda ji passed away from our center. So he died in this bomb blast. Do you know that?
What year was that?
1914. Have you heard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I remember that he died, but it is very interesting that, I didn't know he died. You were telling the story just now that he was asking about Lewis.
Yeah. Well,
That is that's really something. That you have that level of
The guy who
awareness.
was
yes. So
And then if he died, okay, he died, but with that, everything makes sense.
So Swami, so Ramakrishna is saying to us that when somebody is giving this slander opinion on us, when we are religious, all we have to do is feel pity for them. That much only we can do. If we have wisdom, then we try to deal with that in a different way. But otherwise, people can avoid and start progressing in their own spiritual path. So, Master, Sri Ramakrishna to Narendra, So he tested what is the opinion of Swamiji. So he asked, how do you feel about it? Worldly people say all kinds of things about the spiritually minded, like all of us. So, but look here, Ramakrishna says, when an elephant moves along the street, any number of curs and other small animals may bark and cry after it. But the elephant doesn't even look back at them. So if people speak ill of you, what will you think of them? That is Sri Ramakrishna's question to Narendranath. Then Swamiji says, I shall think that dogs are barking at me. So that is Sri Ram. He's a 19-year-old boy is replying to Sri Ramakrishna very sweetly, innocently. Then Sri Ramakrishna said, no, don't go that far. Because he is going to say that the people who are slandering against us are also the manifestation of divine. That's what he is going to say. But how to deal with that, he is going to say later. So the God, he says, God dwells in all beings. Even God dwells in enemies. God dwells in all those who rebuke us or insult us. That we need to keep in mind. So, but you may be intimate only with good people. You must keep away from evil-minded people. So, in 16th chapter Gita, in Bhagavad Gita, 16th chapter, there is a big division about the demonic nature and the divine nature. So, Sri Krishna beautifully explains to us how to differentiate it. So, Ramakrishna says, God is even in the tiger. No doubt. God is even in the tiger. Just now he was singing in Kannada that God is in the forest and he is in all the animals and he is also feeding them. He sang that. And also he said another paragraph, the next paragraph he says that the God is in all the creatures living in a stone. And the God is not only in the creature but also feeding them. He said that. So that point we need to remember. It's so coincidence that today's class was matching with his song. I am surprised. So he says God is even in the tiger, but you cannot embrace the tiger on the account. Otherwise, you know what will happen. Okay, it will be a nice meal for the tiger. Then you may say, run away from a tiger, which is also a manifestation of God. The answer to that is those who tell you to run away are also manifestation of God. The story will come, the very famous story of Sri Ramakrishna. And why shouldn't you listen to them? So the story begins. Now Sri Ramakrishna is going to teach us how to understand seeing God in all and apply it in our day-to-day life. That is very important. You can say, I am Brahman. The train which is moving very fast is also Brahman. So can you go and stand in front of the railway track? I am Brahman. Fire is also Brahman. So will you be happy to touch? Will we be happy to touch the fire? No. Yes, you can touch, but then you should also understand the consequences also as Brahman, not to blame it. But do we have that capacity? Then we do. Otherwise, we have to accept our limitations and grow from there. That's Sri Ramakrishna clearly says through this beautiful story. Let me tell you a story. In the forest, there lived a holy man who had many disciples. One day, he taught them to see God in all things, and knowing this, to bow low before them all. So the disciple went to the forest to gather wood for the sacrificial fire. Suddenly, he heard an outcry. Get out of the way, a mad elephant is approaching. But all the disciples of the holy man took to their heels. He reasoned that the elephant was also this boy, one particular boy in that group. He reasoned that the elephant also God in another form, because his teacher taught him to see God in all forms. So he thought a mad elephant is also God in another form. Then why should he run away from it? He stood still, bowed before the animal, and began to sing its praises. He thought it's Ganapati. We just now sang Adam Nirviku in front of the mad elephant. What will happen? Tell me. Then the Mahut, the elephant controller, was shouting, "Hey, you run away, run away." He's doing Ajam Nirvikalpam Nirakaram Ekam. The mad elephant he is not listening to that Mahut is saying, run away, run away. No, he is Ajam Nirvikalpa. Jaya Ganesha, Pahi Mam is singing in front of the mad elephant. Then, but the disciple didn't move. He was standing there. The animal seized him with its trunk and cast him to the one side and went on its way. And this guy, hurt and bruised, the disciple lay unconscious on the ground. Hearing what had happened, his teacher and his brother disciples rushed for his rescue. Thank God he didn't die, but severely injured. They called 911, admitted in the Portland, our Providence hospital. So somehow he recovered. So with the help of some medicines, he soon regained consciousness. Someone asked him, "You knew the elephant was coming, that too mad elephant, not ordinary elephant, mad elephant. And why didn't you leave the place?" Then he said, "Our teacher had told us that the God himself has taken all these forms. So of all animals as well as men." He said, animals and men. Therefore, thinking it was only the elephant God that was coming, I didn't run away. At this the teacher said, "Yes, my child, it is true that elephant God was coming, but the Mahut God forbade you to stay before. Since all are manifestation of God, why didn't you trust the Mahut's words? You should have heeded to his words too." So it is said in the scripture that water is a form of God, but some water is fit to be used for worship, some water for washing the face, and some only for washing plates and dirty things. So this last sort cannot be used for drinking or for the holy purpose. So in like manner, God undoubtedly dwells in hearts of all, holy and unholy, righteous and unrighteous. But a man should not have dealings with the unholy, the wicked, impure. he must not be intimate with them. With some of them, he may exchange words, but with others, he shouldn't even go even that far. He should keep aloof from such people. So this kind of discrimination is beautifully taught by Sri Krishna in the 16th chapter. The entire chapter is dedicated how to understand the demonic qualities and divine nature, and how to discriminate, differentiate. You have to understand the difference and try to apply that in our day-to-day spiritual life. Now, I just want to elaborate, discuss this. Actually, this story, what Sri Ramakrishna said, it's very good and open for discussion. We can put as a case study to people to discuss, to come with their own opinions. It's very good. The kids and youngsters should discuss this and try to come out with their own answers. So there's very profound meaning hidden in this small story. Sri Ramakrishna once asked to Saradanandaji, how do you want to see God? He asked this question to all his disciples. Because he wants to know whether the person is interested to know God first. Suppose if he says, I want to earn money and lead a worldly life, Sri Ramakrishna is going to grant that to him. He's not going to deny. What the person wants, that is granted. Because he is Kalpataru. So, Kalpataru means wish fulfilling tree. Whatever we wish, we get it. So, he asked Saradanandaji, how do you want to see God? Saradanandaji said, I want to see God in all. Then Sri Ramakrishna immediately replied, see, that is the last stage of seeing God in all. So you can't just go straight, you have to go step by step. So in Bhagavad Gita, 15th chapter, it clearly states, Uttama Purushastvanya, Paramatmetyudharataha, Yo Lokatrayama Vishya, Vivartavya Ishvara. The meaning is, besides the Supreme Divine Personality, who is indestructible, Supreme Soul, he enters three worlds as the unchanging controller and supporter of all living beings. In this example, Sri Ramakrishna is explaining to us the Antaryami aspect of Brahman. That is one Brahman who is the soul of this entire universe. Not 2, 3 Brahmans. Only one God. Only one God who is the soul of this entire universe. And he is present in that, in his universal form. He is just not present there. He is controlling and also ensuring the welfare of the entire worldly activities, individually and also generally. In Svetasvatara Upanishad, it says, I'm just going to little Vedantic way, Bhokta, Bhogyam, Preritaram cha matva, Sarvam Proktam Trividam Brahman. So what it means? Brahman is known as the inner self of the Jivatma. He is the soul of the souls. And he is the also inner soul of the object enjoyed by the Jivatma. Because whatever we see, matter, whatever we see, those things are also pervaded by Brahman. And Prerita means he controls. He's just not staying there. He is doing the control. Is controlling. And all these three kinds has been said together as Brahman. It is said in Svetasvatara Upanishad. And also in, because I'm trying to say this bit deeply, because we need to understand the presence of God in the entire universe. I'm trying to give testimonies from the scriptures. In Bhagavad Gita, again, there is another beautiful sloka. Echa eva satvika bhavaha rajasaha tamasaschaye matta eveti tan vidhi natvam teshu temai. That is the three states of material existence. That is goodness, three qualities of gunas. Goodness is present as the inner soul of all goodness. He is present as the inner soul of all passionate activities. And he is present as the inner soul of all the tamasic activities. You know, the three gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas. That forms the prakriti, that is material world. And he says, all these are manifested from me. And they are in me. This is very important statement. They are in me, but I am not in them. So what does that mean, that they are in me and I am not in them? The world is not, the world is dependent on Brahman. It is not the Brahman dependent on the world. See, for example, I am wearing this shirt. This shirt I am wearing. I am inside this shirt. Just because I am inside this shirt, is this shirt controlling me? No. I am wearing this shirt because outer is going to control the inner. That is what we see. But this shirt, I'm inside the shirt. But this shirt is not controlling me. But this shirt is dependent on me. And I am controlling this shirt. When it gets dirty, I wash it. And I know when to remove it and wear it. I know how to maintain it. But I am inside this shirt. Like that, the entire world is garment. Like the body of Brahman. Though he is inside that garment or body, it is he who is going to control. Not the world Brahman. Not world to Brahman. So Sri Ramakrishna teaches the Antaryami Brahmana in this particular example. And he establishes the difference and non-difference in this example. God is everywhere, but that doesn't mean that we have to ignore the difference. The tiger God is different from the human God. Difference is established, but all are united with one God. Like a pearl string, a string which connects all the pearls. Sutre Manigana Iva. In a necklace, each pearl is distinct from each other, but it is connected all together in one string. So Sri Ramakrishna tells that practically, we need to understand that we are all connected by God, but at the same time, we need to establish the difference. God is there in fire also. God is there in water. But fire and water cannot be in the same place. But they can be existing from distance. Comfortably, they can exist when there is a distance between them, but not together. Like that, the entire world, which forms various distinctions, has to be maintained, but at the same time together as one unit, as a whole organic unity, which he will be declaring it in later. So we need to, here Ramakrishna is saying that we must understand difference. There are 7 ways to understand difference. There are 7 ways to understand difference. What are they? We need to understand this because we need to apply this. All distinct 7 ways. First is differentiating from one object to another object. Cat is not lion. Lion is not tree. We know that very well. The difference we understand that way. Suppose Thomas knows only a cow, but he wants to learn other animals. So he goes to a teacher. And the teacher is trying to talk about lion, the characteristics of lion. Then about characteristics of tiger, then characteristics of an elephant. But he knows about cow very well. He knows all about the cow's characters very well. Now, whatever the characters that the teacher describing respectively, he is not able to understand. I don't understand how about whatever you say about tiger. I don't understand. I don't understand anything what you say about elephant. I don't understand whatever you say about maybe a deer. Then our teacher tells to Thomas, my goodness, you don't understand. Describing you the characters, still you are not able to comprehend. Okay, just think like this. You know cow? You know cow very well. You know the characteristics of cow very well. That's fine. What is not cow is tiger. What is not cow is lion. What is not cow is elephant. Yeah, at least that you understand. So that is different. When you say not cow, it doesn't mean that tiger doesn't exist. When you say not cow, it doesn't mean that elephant doesn't exist. When you say not cow, it doesn't mean that deer doesn't exist. You are now trying to differentiate it. So when you say real and unreal, when you say Brahman is real and the world is unreal, doesn't mean that world doesn't exist. It exists still. It doesn't have the characteristics of Brahman. You understand? How practically we understand this. So that is the one way of that is the first differentiation. That is differentiating from one object to another object. Second is misunderstanding, illusion. I mistake one person for another person. Rope and snake. Rope and snake is not identity. It is establishing the difference. The moment you say when we mistake one thing for another thing, that means there is a differentiation. Second, third, when there is an opposite, he is my enemy. The moment you say that, you have established difference. Fourth, differentiating based on opinions. I differ from my opinion. We have say we work together, but I have my own opinion. I don't go with your opinion. I differ from you. You say that. Then we have established fourth kind of difference. Fifth, when you break something, when you destroy something, you have accepted the difference. Fifth, when you mix, when there is a mixture, milk and water, when you mix, that doesn't mean that there is an identity. Still the water exists because there is an increase in volume. You take 1 cup of water, 1 cup of milk, you pour it together in another vessel. What happens? You cannot see the distinction between water and milk, but there is an increase in volume of the liquid. Difference is established. 7th, last one. When you feel you are independent, when you bifurcate from the general crowd, the difference is established. The moment you say I am independent, you are establishing difference. So there are 7 ways of establishing difference in practical life. So that is established, in fact, in this mad elephant and this person's example. I think we are running out of time. So I will try to finish this quickly. Okay, just give me 3 more minutes. So in this example, our boy understood the presence of God. That he has understood. But just simple presence is not going to help us. He has to understand that presence of God is there to help us, to protect us, which he forgot. We should acknowledge the presence of God first, and at the same time, we should acknowledge if God is present in us. He has proved his presence, God's presence. How did we acknowledge God back? We have to act as an apt instrument of God, which this boy did not act. He understood the presence of God, but he did not act as the instrument of God. Because God, being present in his heart, tried to help him twice, 2 times in this example. The first time when he heard, because he had the holy wisdom that God is present everywhere. Nobody will teach. It's not a common teaching. It is a special teaching, which he understood and accepted wholeheartedly. Immediately, God wants to protect this fellow. So when there is no direct hostility between the mad elephant and this fellow. There is no direct hostility. Mad elephant is coming by, God is present in mad elephant too. And mad elephant is executing its karma with the presence of God. And this fellow, the God present in him, first helped him by showing to run away through his friends. His friends ran away. He could have also ran away along with them, because all were learning the same wisdom. He rejected that protection from God. Second, through Mahut, God informed him, you please run away. It is going to hurt you. He again denied that. So God protected him twice. He is not only inside us, but also he is going to protect us when we accept him as our inner soul. So the relationship has to be established. That relationship is being an instrument of God. In the 11th chapter, Arjuna saw the universal form of God. He saw each distinct qualities of God. And later, Krishna says, having you seen the distinct qualities, now you be my instrument and execute the work what is assigned to you through your karma. In that way, I establish the harmony. And you are also part of that. If we are not going to be part of the harmony, then we will have to face the consequences like this one. which is sufferings and all kinds of ailments. So with this I finish. Mangalam Desikendraya, Eminam Chakravartine, Parashakti Swarupinyai, Devyai Matre cha Mangalam. Sarve Jana Sujinaho Bhavantu. Samasta San Mangalani Bhavantu. Let all people be happy and let all auspicious things prevail for all. Om Tat Sat.
Gahore Jaya Jaya Rama Krishnana. Gahore Jaya Jaya Rama Krishnana. Ajiye Shubha Dina Miliye Bhakat Jana. Ajiye Shubha Dina Miliye Bhakat Jana. Gaho Gaho Rama Krishnana. Gahore Jaya Jaya Rama Krishnana. Gahore Jaya Jaya Rama Krishnana. Rama Krishna Name, Rama Krishna Preme, Rama Krishna Name, Rama Krishna Preme, Matiya Votag Dharadha, Gahore, Jaya Jaya Rama Krishna Nam, Gahore, Jaya Jaya Rama Krishna Nam. हरिते भूभार प्रेम अवतार, हरिते भूभार प्रेम अवतार, प्रभु राम कृष्ण गुणधार. गाहोरे जय जय राम कृष्ण नाम. गाहोरे जय जय राम कृष्ण नाम. जय राम जय कृष्ण विश्व गुरु राम कृष्ण. जय राम जय कृष्ण विश्व गुरु राम कृष्ण. एकाधारे श्याम शिव श्याम. गाहोरे जय जय राम कृष्ण नाम. गाहोरे जय जय राम कृष्ण नाम. जय श्री गुरु महाराज जी की. जय श्री महामाई की. जय श्री स्वामी जी महाराज जी की. जय श्री श्री दुर्गा माई की.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if I